I've ranked every weapon in Black Ops 6 from worst to best by now. So what else is there to do than these Scorestreaks, of course? Welcome to the channel. My name's DeeSimilar. We're going to rank all 19 streaks from worst to best in this video based on the cost versus effectiveness versus durability factors. And by durability, I mean like how easy or difficult it is to destroy or avoid a score streak. As always, these worst to best lists are my sole opinion. If you happen to disagree, you're welcome to share your own opinions and lists in the comments. Also, please drop a like on the video if you enjoy it and consider getting subscribed to the channel. Any help on the journey to 50,000 subscribers is greatly appreciated. Let's kick things off with the worst score streak at the number 19 spot. This score streak is the Interceptors, which is one of two F-tier garbage score streaks in this game. The Interceptors cost 1,150 score, and they will eliminate enemy aerial streaks within 2 passes, which might sound useful, but in practice, these things are utterly pointless. 9 times out of 10, the Interceptors will sit in your inventory for an entire match until a measly UAV is called in that you can use these on for 1,150 score, by the way. I just feel like the LMGs with FMJ and launchers are far more effective at actively destroying score streaks. The only exception are those high health score streaks like the Health and the Dreadnought, which are very rare to run into. And when you do run into those, you're likely getting dominated by endless score streaks and won't even be able to earn the Interceptors before the enemy score streaks expire. So they're just poorly designed. They cost too much score for what it currently is. Garbage. Almost equally as bad is the Sentry Turret at number 18. In Black Ops 6, the Sentry Turret fires Nerf darts. It has the rotational range of someone with a neck injury, and it's made of paper. I'm genuinely surprised when this gets more than 1 kill. If you can set the Sentry Turret up within cover, it can get you kills, but again, if you cough on it, it's going to be destroyed. It's just straight up bad. Moving into the D tier, these streaks have some usefulness, but not much in the grand scheme of things. For example, we have the SAM turret at number 17. This will automatically target and destroy aerial score streaks. If left uncontested, the SAM turret is very effective at what it does, but the problem is it's very easy to destroy, just like the Sentry Turret. I feel like my SAMs get destroyed within 30 seconds of deployment most times, and that has to do with like the spawns flipping, people going after challenges, and it's just simply being easy to destroy for extra score. I will say I do have a niche strat using the SAM turret with the new high roller wildcard, but I'll be saving that for another video. Next up at number 16, I have the RCXD. This is very cheap and easy to earn, but frustrating to use. Ideally, you'll maneuver in and out of cover with the RC car to avoid it getting destroyed, and it's hard to do that when the controls feel clunky AF. Maybe it's just me, but I find the RCXD simply hard to drive. It doesn't cost much, you can get kills with it, it's not the worst score streak option, but it's nowhere near the best. At number 15, we have the Strategic Bomber. This is a carpet bomber you can designate to fly over a specific path, and if a map has little cover, the carpet bomber can get a lot of kills, but at the same time, it can result in getting no kills. You know, if an enemy is paying attention, the Strategic Bomber is fairly easy to avoid, and at 1100 score, that's a very big gamble to take. If you're not walking away with 3+ kills, I find this score streak underwhelming. I mean, even 3 kills for 1100 score is kind of eh. There are much better options for much less score that we'll be covering shortly. Climbing into the C tier, these score streaks are not the best, not the worst. They do have their use cases. I find these to be average score streaks, like the A.G.R. Mark 1 at the number 14 spot. This is a player-controlled drone capable of firing a machine gun and a grenade launcher if you press the weapon swap button. It costs you 1200 score to earn, and it's very solid. You can rack up a lot of kills with this with very little effort, and unlike the RCXD, the A.G.R. is pretty easy to pilot. On the cost versus effectiveness scale, the The A.G.R is not terrible. I do think it is a bit towards the high end for Scorestreak costs. I do think there are better options that cost both more and less score that'll just give you better kill value. Next up at number 13, I have the Archangel Launcher. For 650 score, you get 2 remote pilot rockets that you can use to blow up players or destroy score streaks. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the Archangel isn't my favorite streak to use. If I'm going to be piloting a score streak, I want to rack up a lot of kills with it. Otherwise, I personally prefer the streak to be automated. But for 200 more score than the RCXD, you don't need to worry about enemy fire as much with the Archangel as it's flying in the air. You can fly high and come down on someone like a Predator missile, which makes it hard to shoot down. You do have a high chance to get 2 kills or more per activation with this streak, and overall, it's pretty decent. At number 12, we have the classic UAV. This is the standard recon drone that reveals enemy locations for 600 score. It's easy to get. Location info in Call of Duty is so valuable. However, there is a high chance of your UAV getting shot down immediately in Black Ops 6 for similar reasons to the SAM turret. Nevertheless, the UAV is useful. You can also passively generate score with the UAV. I just find it not as valuable in Black Ops 6 compared to other games, especially without score streak looping. Moving on to number 11 is the care package, which will reward you a random score streak for a relatively cheap price of 750 score. Could be a UAV out of the box, could be a sentry gun, could be a Dreadnought or a Harp. The care package is a W so long as you don't get a RCXD or a turret, which I find are pretty good odds on average avoiding those. But you know, this is also the only score streak you can share with teammates who may be struggling. You can help them out with that. It's just a nice little loot crate that provides decent to amazing value for how much it costs. Next up at number 10 is the Watchdog Hilo. This is a support chopper that automatically attacks and pings enemies for you. Again, the additional recon info is valuable, and the Watchdog Hilo can rack up kills if it's left uncontested. But once again, the Watchdog Hilo tends to get destroyed quickly. In fact, I find this to be the score streak that teams will look up and shoot down with weapons they're already using because it directly impacts their gameplay. I mean, what you get out of the Watchdog Hilo for the cost of 1100, I find generally isn't worth it, but I do like that it is automatically piloted and it can rack up kills if left uncontested, which is why it almost makes the B tier on my list. Speaking of, now we're moving into the B tier where we're going to be finding some good score streaks with clear benefits like the counter UAV coming in at the number 9 spot. This is easy to earn at 700 score. It scrambles your enemy's minimaps, which blocks so much information that good players will extract on a second-to-second basis and just straight up overrides a UAV. It generates the same amount of assist score as the UAV, and it's also a bit more durable than the UAV. The counter UAV takes 2 shots to destroy instead of 1, and I find the counters generally will stay up longer on a match-to-match basis. I've always seen the CUAV as more valuable than the UAV for pretty much everything I just said, which is probably why it tends to cost more. At number 8, I have our Hellstorm missile. This is a Predator missile that explodes upon impact, and you might not know, but this has 3 secondary missiles that you can fire that will automatically track towards enemies highlighted with the diamond target. You also have options to slow down and boost the flight speed to get the most out of each missile, and typically I'm finding myself getting 3+ kills with this, which is great for how much the Hellstorm costs. Simple as that. Next in line is the LDBR at number 7, also known as the Mortar Strike. This is a targeted missile bombardment. It lasts 15 whole seconds, which is much longer than other Call of Duty games, and it covers a much wider area as well. Most of the time, the LDBR racks up a decent amount of kills, but it isn't the most consistent score streak. To be honest, you know, a good player can easily avoid it. There are times where I ended up with 0 kills with it, but this also acts as like an area of denial score streak, which is great for objective modes like Hardpoint. And it only costs 800 score, which is great value for what you can extract out of this. Moving on to number 6, I have one of my kind of all-time favorite score streaks in the Call of Duty games, the Napalm Strike. This is nearly just as cheap at 850 score, and what this thing will do is it'll drop explosives on a designated area on the map, which will get you some kills, and then that area is left on fire for like 10 to 15 seconds, resulting in more kills. Also, similar concept to the LDBR, if you happen to whiff and get no kills with your Napalm Strike initially, the Napalm does act as an area of denial and gives you temporary map control to use to your advantage, which again is a good amount of value for only 850 score. At number 5, we have a classic Call of Duty streak, the Chopper Gunner. This is the second highest costing score streak at 1600 score. This lasts 1 full minute and it just about insta-kills players once your turret fire connects. It has significantly more health than the Watchdog Hilo, and you can rack up dozens of kills in one go easily. The Chopper Gunner can be shot down, however, even with regular weapons, but the difference here is you have control of where you're firing and you can just mow down the people firing at you. That makes the Chopper Gunner much harder to destroy, especially when you consider you get 3 flares to help against rockets. It's just an impressive, very effective score streak, borderline A tier, but it doesn't make the cut for one simple reason. That brings us into the A tier with the top 4 score streaks of Black Ops 6. Kind reminder, if you guys haven't liked the video and you are enjoying it, please tap that like button. Greatly appreciate it. But at number 4, we have a similar score sheet to the Chopper Gunner, the Dreadnought. This is Black Ops 6's AC 130, and it is the most expensive score streak at 1800 score, which by the way is only 200 more score than the Chopper Gunner. That extra 200 score gives you devastating cannons, rockets, and a chain gun you can cycle through and wreak havoc with for 1 entire minute. The damage radius on all 3 of the weapons are very generous. You can just spray and pray and easily get kills. And the Dreadnought has a large amount of health, plus not 3 but 6 flares to defend yourself with, which makes it even harder to shoot down. Plus, at the end of the duration, there is a cutscene where you drop a bomb, and that is the Daisy Cutter bomb. This bomb will slowly descend after you exit the Dreadnought, and it tracks towards enemy players and pretty much guarantees you another 2 kills after the fact. This thing is just crazy, and for only 200 more score than the Chopper, I don't see why you would ever use the Chopper Gunner instead of the Dreadnought, which elevates it to A tier in my opinion. Although, of course, you can use both at the same time for absolute maximum carnage. At number 3, we have the Scout Pulse, which may surprise people because this is the cheapest score streak available at 400 score. The Scout Pulse is a personal UAV that reveals nearby enemies on the minimap, but it's just for yourself instead of your entire team, which is really good because there's no way to destroy the Scout Pulse, unlike the other recon score streaks in this game. With the Dispatcher perk and or the Bankroll perk and or the Strategist perk bonus, you can earn the Scout Pulse in just 1 to 2 kills. It's not hard to earn whatsoever, and in terms of cost effectiveness, the Scout Pulse is one of the best score streaks in my opinion that is useful for all skill levels. Runner up second best at the number 2 spot goes to the Hand Cannon. This is a hit scan, 1-shot kill, Desert Eagle kind of score streak pistol. You get 10 shots to work with, which means you can get 10 plus kills with 1 single activation, which is insane for only being 900 score. The hand cannon is agile, it's easy to use. I like to refer to it as a pocket sniper, except I think it has like aim assist, which makes it even easier to use. And a neat feature on top of all that is once you activate the hand cannon, if you die without firing a shot, you will retain the hand cannon after respawn, and that repeats until you fire your first shot. There's not much else to say. It's very simple, very effective, and again, it has a lot of stopping power for only 900 score. That brings us to the number 1 best score streak in Black Ops 6. Make sure you stick around a moment because I am sharing a tier list graphic for a comprehensive overview of everything that we've discussed so far. And a quick reminder, if you haven't liked the video yet, please tap that like button and consider getting subscribed to the channel. But number 1, the best in my opinion, it goes to the Harp, aka the Advanced UAV, aka the Blackbird for you OGs out there. But the Harp will display enemies' real-time location and the direction they're moving on the minimap. This is invaluable information to have. I don't know how to put it other than that. It gives you a huge advantage compared to your enemies. Plus, this is uncounterable to an extent. Enemies with the Ghost perk are still revealed by the Harp, but as a standard radar ping instead of the arrow, and the Harp has high health and is hard to shoot down. It's at a reasonable cost of $14.50, and if you use Dispatcher, it lowers the score down to $12.50. And again, you can stack it with other bonuses that I mentioned and make the Harp pretty easy to obtain, and it just gives you, I'm gonna guess that it is a full minute of just a complete advantage over the enemy team. Nothing else to add. The real-time arrow is incredibly valuable and it's the best score streak in Black Ops 6. To review, this is everything we've discussed in this video so far in the tier list format. Everything's in numerical order, categorized in the A, B, C, D, and F tiers. That's it for this video. I got the tacticals in the works for the next worst to best. I also saw some people recommend they'd like to see the maps ranked worst to best. If you guys have any suggestions for anything else you'd like to see, leave a comment. You can check out some of the previous worst to best on the screen right now. If you haven't subscribed and liked the video, you'll watch the video all the way through. It's mandatory at this point. But thank you guys so much for watching. My name's DeeSimilar, and I'll catch y'all next time.